What is up, homies? My name is Felix, and I'm here back again with another video for you all today.
So as I'm sure you've noticed, I'm not at the usual filming location today, and that is because me and Xole are staying at a top secret location to work on.
And we've got a little something interesting in front of us here. It is a drum kit, for those of you who may not know. A very simple drum kit, nothing too crazy. We've got a kick, and then we've got a snare, and then we've got a little hi-hat. Little three-piece kit, but it's all we really need. So what are we doing with this here today? Obviously, we're gonna record some live drums and make a beat out of it. As a matter of fact, I have been making music for about like 5-6 years, something like that, and I have literally never recorded live drums before, which means I don't know how to play drums. I have maybe like a week of experience practicing on an electronic kit under my belt, but other than that, no idea what I'm doing. But I can get a couple little sounds out of this thing. A little one of these. So yeah, before we actually get into recording and everything, just want to say, make sure you guys go check out my Instagram and my SoundCloud down in the description below, along with the playlist of songs I produced, my beat store, Discord, all that stuff. Go check it out if you'd like to do so. And now let's get into this video. So what do we need to know about what's going on here? So as you can see, I'm taking this shirt and putting it on here. This just mutes the snare drum. That right there is a very different sound from this. There's a million different combinations that you can do with different techniques and whatnot. Depends on what you like, depends on the sound you're going for. Also in the kick, we have a little blanket going on. I don't know if you can see it. Blanket. The blanket in here makes a huge difference because this sound, a lot more toned down than if I were to go like this. Take this blanket out and hit him with this, much more. So, what are we going to record here, is the question. Some sort of like sloppy drum pattern, kind of like... Right here we've got Logan. He's going to hold my phone for me. And we're just going to do a little phone recording on these drums and see how that sounds. Something like that maybe. And then we'll see how these sound. It's actually not half bad off the phone. It doesn't really sound that horrible, which just goes to show you, you don't need a whole bunch of fancy recording equipment and stuff like that, but we will record it a couple other ways. Oh dude, perfect. Oh dude, it's not plugged in, cool. Here's the setup that we're working with. We've got our boy, hello, Xole. Go check out his channel. My computer here with FL Studio, and then we've got it running to the interface, which goes all the way over there to the drum set. Vibe. Check it out. We on the camcorder. Found footage. Movie vibe. I'm gonna hit record on this bad boy. Alright, so here we are in FL Studio now. I'm going to sift through that recording, 10-minute long recording of us just walking around. It's super quiet because the SM57 is a pretty quiet mic in general. I didn't really mention, but the only reason that I used that was because that's the mic that I brought with me. And I think it's gonna turn out pretty okay, but we just have to see how it sounds when we drag this in. Sounds pretty good. The one thing that I'm noticing here is you can hear the squeak of the pedal a little bit. That thing needs some WD-40, but honestly, not a big deal. I think it adds to the ambiance, the atmosphere. Gotta make sure you have a generic bleeding and auto on. I think with the newer versions of FL20, auto is just on automatically, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. So we got our little drum loop now. I did record it with my phone. We'll see how that sounds in a bit, but I think for now we're just gonna keep it with the SM57 recording. But now I just wanna add a couple synth chords or something like that. I think that's gonna sound really nice. I think I'm gonna pull up Analog Lab and see what we can find inside there. Just gotta wait for it to load, which takes like 20 minutes every time. Finally, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go through my liked sounds, see what we have in here. That's gonna be a nice bass sound. Maybe a little something like that. I like that. I think this is a good bassist. I'm gonna pull up a new Analog Lab and just pick a different sound now. It's almost like a space age lo-fi kind of feel to it. Whatever it is, I like it. So now what I'm going to do is pull in that bass sound that I found earlier in Analog Lab once Analog Lab decides to load. That little roll right there with the bass where it leads into the next note here. So good, I like that a lot. It's coming together quite nicely. What I want to do now is add a couple little counter melodies and then show you guys a little bit about mixing drums. So let's pull up another Analog Lab. I'm gonna look for some sort of like synthy bell kind of sound. I have probably spent more time waiting for Analog Lab to load than I have actually making music. Alright, I've been pretty quiet because I've just been cooking up this pattern. However, I think it sounds really good. What? I have never seen that before. What? Why? What? Dude, like why am I getting this? What? Basically you just got two things on there that said there was a critical error and the project won't be saved. Who knows how that's gonna go, so I'm gonna try to save it now. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the file saving process right now. We know we have the backup here. It's 13 hours, 4 minutes. Okay, also, great news, none of my plugins are working. I think it's just a problem with this project file or something. I'm just going to put a compressor on this, just a basic fruity compressor. And it did kind of pick up a little bit of room noise. So normally if I was doing program drums that are trying to sound like live drums, I would put some reverb on it before, but we kind of have a little bit of natural room reverb, so we don't really need it. But then also I'm just going to do a little EQ on here as well. EQ out some of the really low frequencies that we don't even need, and then boost here a little bit for the snare / rim shot. And I'm actually going to take out some of the hi-hat. I definitely want to have my drums in mono, so I'm going to go like this, but they were already in mono anyway, so it doesn't matter. And one thing that I'm actually going to experiment with is everybody's favorite plugin, Soundgoodizer. So obviously it's kind of a meme, but one thing that Soundgoodizer does is it has these 4 presets that kind of puts your sample at like different places in the mix, and it's really fun to mess around with. So if your stuff is kind of like back further, you can mess around with Soundgoodizer and try to get it more present in the mix. And that is pretty much going to do it for what we can do here, considering the way that my FL Studio is behaving right now. But yeah, so that is pretty much going to do it for me in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was really fun to mess around with some live drums for the first time on this channel. You guys are definitely going to be seeing more of that though in the future, because once we get settled into the new place, I'm going to have a drum set there, and I'm going to be recording stuff all the time, little drum fills here and there, little breaks, whatever we want to do. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys go check out my Instagram and my SoundCloud down in the description below, along with playlist of songs I produced, Beat Store, Discord, all that stuff. Go check it out if you'd like to do so, and I will see you guys next time. This, I can't reach over there.